Have you ever found yourself in the throes of love, desperately trying to win someone over, only to feel further and further away from what you seek? It's a common tale, a misguided belief that love can be earned through persistence, sacrifice, or sheer force of will. Society often whispers that if you just try harder, say the right things, or become what she wants, love will follow. But what if I told you this approach is fundamentally flawed? What if, instead of gaining her affection, you're pushing it further out of reach? The truth is simple yet powerful. Love cannot be forced. Begging for love, whether through words, actions, or unspoken desperation, undermines not only your self-worth but also the very connection you're hoping to build. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy rooted in resilience and self-awareness, provides a refreshing lens through which we can view modern relationships. It teaches us to let go of the need to control others and instead focus on cultivating our inner strength. You see, love, like water, flows best when unimpeded. When you chase, plead, or cling, you create resistance. But when you stand firm, confident in your own value, something magical happens. Love finds you. Isn't that the kind of connection you want? One built on mutual respect and natural attraction rather than coercion or desperation. In this journey, we'll uncover 7 powerful truths about why you should never beg for love, and how embracing this mindset will transform not only your relationships but also your entire outlook on life. Together, we'll explore how self-respect, patience, and authenticity pave the way for deep, meaningful connections. So, are you ready to uncover the art of not forcing love? Let's dive in. 1. The power of inner strength and self-respect. Imagine standing in a crowded room, yet feeling utterly alone. Your eyes search for hers, hoping for a glance, a smile, a sign that she notices you. But instead, you find yourself shrinking, adjusting your behavior, dimming your light in the hopes of earning her affection. Does this sound familiar? If so, it's time to ask yourself a critical question. When did I start believing that my worth is defined by someone else's attention? The truth is, love isn't about convincing someone to choose you. It's about becoming someone who naturally attracts what they deserve. And that begins with self-respect. Think of self-respect as the foundation of a towering fortress. When it's strong, you're unshakable, impervious to the whims and judgments of others. You walk through life with an air of quiet confidence, knowing that your value isn't tied to anyone's validation. This isn't arrogance, it's an inner strength that radiates outward, drawing others to you like moths to a flame. Women, like anyone, are irresistibly drawn to confidence. Not the loud, boisterous kind that seeks attention, but the steady, grounded confidence that comes from truly knowing yourself. This kind of self-assurance isn't something you can fake. It's cultivated through introspection, personal growth, and yes, embracing the principles of Stoicism. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control: our actions, our thoughts, and our attitudes. When you stop obsessing over how to make her love you and start investing in your own growth, something remarkable happens. You become the kind of man who doesn't need to chase, because he knows that the right person will naturally be drawn to him. Have you ever noticed how people gravitate toward those who seem at ease with themselves? There's a quiet power in someone who doesn't seek approval, who doesn't bend over backward to please. That's the energy you need to embody. Instead of constantly seeking her attention, be the oak tree in your emotional world, strong, steady, and self-assured. Let her come to you, drawn by the magnetism of your resilience and authenticity. But here's the catch. This isn't about playing games or manipulating her emotions. It's about genuinely believing in your own worth. When you operate from a place of self-respect, you set the tone for how others will treat you. You create boundaries that protect your peace and ensure that any love you receive is freely given, not extracted through begging or compromise. So what does this look like in practice? It means not compromising your values to fit into someone else's mold. It means saying no to situations that make you feel small or unworthy. It means embracing the discomfort of walking away when a relationship no longer serves your well-being. Let me ask you, how much more fulfilling would your life be if you stopped chasing love and started attracting it? Imagine the freedom of knowing that you don't have to fight for someone's affection, because the right person will see your worth without needing to be convinced. That's the power of self-respect. In the end, love that's worth having is never something you have to beg for. It flows naturally, effortlessly, between two people who see and appreciate each other for who they truly are. When you embrace your inner strength and commit to respecting yourself, you open the door to a new kind of connection, one that's built on mutual respect, trust, and authenticity. Are you ready to stop begging and start attracting? Stay with me, because the next truth will take us even deeper into the art of not forcing love. 2. Love is a gradual process, not an instant fix. Now, let's unravel one of the greatest misconceptions about love, the myth of love at first sight. How many times have you heard that love should be instant, like a bolt of lightning that strikes without warning, sweeping you off your feet? Movies, books, and popular culture paint love as a magical discovery, a sudden realization where the world fades away, and all that matters is the spark between two people. But is that spark truly the foundation of lasting love, or is it just a fleeting illusion? Let's be real. Instant attraction might feel exhilarating, but it's only a surface-level experience. True love, the kind that stands the test of time, is more like a garden. It doesn't blossom overnight. Instead, it grows slowly, nurtured by consistent effort, patience, and mutual understanding. If you rush this process, if you try to force the connection, you're only setting yourself up for disappointment. The ancient Stoics understood this. They recognized that meaningful connections are built on more than just momentary passion. They're founded on shared values, dedication, and mutual growth. Think about it. How many times have you mistaken attraction for love, only to feel the magic fizzle out once the initial excitement faded? That's because genuine love requires more than just a physical spark. It's a journey that demands commitment and resilience. In fact, love is a process, a gradual unfolding of two lives coming together, learning about each other, and building a foundation that can endure both the highs and the lows. Imagine you're cultivating a beautiful garden. You wouldn't plant seeds today and expect a full bloom tomorrow, would you? You'd water it, tend to it, give it sunlight, and patiently wait as it grows over time. In the same way, love demands a careful, deliberate approach. Rushing it or trying to shortcut this process only leads to superficial connections. When you embrace this gradual process, you allow the relationship to evolve naturally without the need for pressure or unrealistic expectations. Let's also be clear. This isn't about playing hard to get or pretending to be indifferent. It's about truly valuing yourself and the connection you're creating. By allowing things to progress naturally, you're giving yourself the chance to build something real and enduring. When you don't force love, you leave room for true understanding and respect to grow. You create a space where both people can bring their authentic selves without feeling rushed or pressured. Consider how this changes your perspective. Instead of wondering why she hasn't texted back yet or questioning whether she feels the same intensity you do, you're grounded in a mindset of patience and self-assurance. You understand that if this connection is genuine, it will develop over time. And if it doesn't, then it wasn't meant to be, and that's okay. You haven't lost anything because your worth is not defined by how quickly love unfolds. So ask yourself, how would it feel to let go of the need for instant gratification in love? To allow connections to unfold at their own pace, without anxiety or urgency. Imagine the peace of knowing that you don't need to force anything. You're confident in who you are, and you trust that the right person will recognize that in due time. Isn't that a more fulfilling approach to love? And here's the beautiful part. When you treat love as a journey, you're not just deepening your connection with someone else, you're also growing in self-awareness and resilience. You learn what you truly value, what you're willing to invest in, and what kind of love genuinely aligns with your core beliefs. You're not chasing after a fantasy, you're building a reality rooted in mutual respect and understanding. This is the essence of Stoicism in relationships, a steady, grounded approach that respects both your own growth and that of your partner. If this resonates with you, if you're ready to stop forcing love and start letting it grow naturally, then let's continue this journey together. Embrace the process, value the gradual unfolding of a real connection, and you'll find that love becomes something far more profound and enduring. Remember, every great relationship takes time to bloom. If you believe in this approach, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. How has your perspective on love shifted over the years? And if this message speaks to you, don't forget to give this video a like and share it with others who might need this reminder. Let's create a community of people who know that real love doesn't need to be rushed. 3. Reciprocity, the key to balanced relationships. Now that we've uncovered the power of patience and the art of letting love grow naturally, let's turn to one of the most vital aspects of any healthy relationship: reciprocity. Love, at its core, is a dance between two people. It requires balanced mutual effort and a willingness to give as much as you receive. Without this balance, the relationship becomes one-sided, a weight that only one person is carrying, and no one can sustain that burden for long. Picture this: you're pouring your heart and soul into the relationship. You're always the one initiating conversations, planning dates, offering support, and making sacrifices. But what happens when these efforts aren't matched? When the other person seems content to sit back and take without giving anything in return? You feel drained, don't you? Frustrated, perhaps even resentful. And yet so many people stay in these unbalanced dynamics, convinced that if they just keep trying harder, things will eventually even out. But here's the truth: love that isn't reciprocated isn't love, it's servitude. A healthy relationship thrives on mutual respect and shared investment. When both people are equally committed to the connection, it becomes a source of strength and joy for both parties. You're not constantly questioning where you stand or feeling like you're carrying the entire emotional weight. Instead, you feel supported, seen, and valued. Think of reciprocity as the rhythm that keeps the dance of love moving gracefully. Without it, the dance falters. But when both partners step in time with each other, the connection flows effortlessly. This doesn't mean keeping score or demanding tit-for-tat exchanges. It's not about who called or texted last, or who made the last grand romantic gesture. Reciprocity is about the underlying balance of effort and care, a natural give and take that makes both people feel equally valued. Now let's take a moment to reflect on a simple but profound question. What message are you sending when you beg for love? When you go above and beyond, bending over backward to prove your worth while receiving little in return, you're essentially saying, "My value depends on your validation." But love isn't a commodity to be earned or a debt to be repaid. It's a shared experience, one that should enrich both people equally. If you find yourself in a relationship where reciprocity is lacking, it's time to step back and reevaluate. Ask yourself, am I pouring my energy into someone who values me as much as I value them? If the answer is no, it's not a sign to try harder. It's a sign to realign your focus. A relationship should never leave you feeling depleted or questioning your worth. It should uplift you, providing a safe space where both partners feel cherished and understood. The beauty of reciprocity is that it naturally reinforces the bond between two people. When you feel valued and appreciated, you're inspired to give even more. And when your partner mirrors that effort, the connection deepens, creating a cycle of mutual support and affection. This is the essence of a thriving partnership, a relationship where both people feel equally invested, equally committed, and equally loved. But what happens when reciprocity isn't there? When the balance tips too far in one direction? That's when it becomes essential to set boundaries. Boundaries aren't about shutting people out. They're about protecting your emotional well-being and ensuring that your relationships are built on mutual respect. When you establish clear boundaries, you communicate your needs and expectations, making it clear that you value yourself and won't settle for less than you deserve. In the end, love is a choice, a deliberate decision to invest in someone else's happiness and well-being, just as they invest in yours. When this choice is made freely and reciprocally, it creates a bond that's unshakable. But when it's one-sided, it can only lead to frustration and heartache. So, remember, never beg for love. Instead, Seek a relationship where both you and your partner are equally committed to nurturing the connection. Trust that when reciprocity is present, love will flourish naturally, without the need for constant effort or reassurance. It's in this balance that true intimacy and partnership are found. 4. Learning from rejection and maintaining self-worth. Rejection. Just hearing the word can stir a deep, uncomfortable feeling. It's something we've all experienced, whether in love, work, or life. In the realm of relationships, it can feel especially personal. After all, when someone doesn't reciprocate your feelings, it's easy to believe the problem lies with you. But what if rejection wasn't a failure or a reflection of your worth? What if, instead, it was an opportunity for growth and alignment? Let's start by reframing rejection. When she doesn't feel the same way, it's not a declaration that you're unworthy of love. It simply means that your paths don't align in the way you hoped. Rejection is less about you as a person and more about compatibility, or rather, the lack of it. The ancient Stoics, masters of perspective, taught us that it's not what happens to us that matters, but how we interpret and respond to those events. And nowhere is this wisdom more applicable than in love. Consider this. Every rejection is a redirection. It's the universe's way of steering you toward a connection that better suits your values, your energy, and your journey. But to see rejection in this light, you must first separate your self-worth from external validation. Your value as a person doesn't diminish because someone else fails to see it. The sun doesn't stop shining just because someone closes their blinds. So how do we handle rejection with grace and dignity? First, by understanding that rejection is inevitable in the human experience. No one is universally loved or desired by everyone they meet. Even the most charismatic, successful individuals face rejection. What sets them apart is how they respond to it. They don't beg, they don't plead, and they certainly don't let it shatter their self-esteem. Instead, they see it as feedback, not on their character, but on the fit of the relationship. Let me ask you, what would change in your life if you stopped fearing rejection and started embracing it as a natural part of the journey? Imagine the freedom of approaching relationships without the paralyzing fear of hearing no. This mindset shift allows you to take risks, put yourself out there, and connect with people authentically. And when rejection does come, as it inevitably will, you'll be prepared to face it with resilience and self-assurance. Another critical aspect of navigating rejection is to resist the urge to dwell on what-ifs. How many times have you caught yourself replaying a failed relationship or an unreciprocated love, wondering what you could have done differently? This kind of rumination only traps you in a cycle of self-doubt. The Stoics remind us to focus on what we can control: our actions, our thoughts, and our attitudes. You can't control her feelings, but you can control how you respond to them. When rejection strikes, take a step back and reflect, but don't linger. Ask yourself, what did I learn from this experience? Did it reveal something about what you want in a partner? Did it help you understand your boundaries or clarify your values? These insights are invaluable. They're the hidden gifts within every rejection, guiding you closer to the connection you're truly seeking. And then there's the art of letting go. Holding on to someone who doesn't feel the same way is like clinging to a mirage. It looks like love, but it will never quench your thirst. Letting go isn't about giving up. It's about freeing yourself from an illusion. It's about making room in your life for someone who will appreciate you fully, without hesitation or doubt. Rejection, as painful as it may be, is a catalyst for growth. It pushes you to confront your fears, challenge your assumptions, and ultimately strengthen your sense of self. When you stop begging for love and start valuing yourself, you shift the dynamic entirely. You no longer see rejection as a verdict on your worth, but as a step on the path to finding a love that aligns with who you truly are. In the end, rejection is not the enemy. It's a teacher, a guide, and a test of your resilience. It offers you the chance to affirm your self-worth, to stand tall in the face of disappointment, and to continue moving forward with confidence and grace. The question is not whether you will face rejection, it's how you will rise after it. Will you let it define you, or will you use it as a stepping stone toward greater self-awareness and a deeper, more fulfilling connection? The choice is yours. 5. Avoiding idealization and embracing reality. It's easy to get swept away by the fantasy of love. You meet someone, and suddenly you're captivated by their charm, beauty, or the way they make you feel. Before long, you've built them up in your mind as the perfect partner, someone who can do no wrong, someone who completes you. But here's the danger. When you idealize someone, you're not falling in love with who they truly are. You're falling in love with a version of them that exists only in your imagination. Let's face it, idealization is a trap. It sets you up for disappointment because no one can live up to a fantasy. Everyone has flaws, quirks, and imperfections. By placing someone on a pedestal, you strip away their humanity, and in doing so, you sabotage the relationship before it even begins. Stoicism teaches us to see people as they are, not as we wish them to be. It urges us to embrace reality with all its complexities, rather than clinging to illusions. So ask yourself, have you ever been guilty of turning someone into a perfect ideal in your mind? Maybe you ignored red flags or overlooked behaviors that didn't align with your values because you were too focused on the image you had created. Over time, this illusion crumbles, and you're left facing the truth that the person you idolized is, in fact, just a person with strengths and weaknesses like anyone else. But why do we idealize in the first place? Often it's because we're searching for something outside ourselves to fill a void. We believe that if we can just find the one, all our problems will disappear. We'll be happy, fulfilled, and complete. Yet this mindset is flawed. No one else can complete you, only you can do that. True happiness and fulfillment come from within, not from another person. This is why it's crucial to approach relationships with open eyes and a grounded perspective. Instead of seeking perfection, look for someone who aligns with your core values and complements your journey. Recognize their flaws and imperfections, but also appreciate their unique strengths. A relationship built on mutual acceptance and understanding is far more resilient than one based on unrealistic expectations. Let's take a moment to reflect. What would your relationships look like if you stopped chasing perfection and started embracing authenticity? Imagine the depth and intimacy you could achieve if you allowed yourself and your partner to be fully seen, flaws, vulnerabilities, and all. This is the essence of a real connection. It's not about finding someone who checks every box on your list, but about building a partnership based on mutual respect and genuine appreciation. Now, consider how idealization affects your own self-worth. When you idolize someone, you're often putting them above yourself, believing that their love and approval are the ultimate prize. But this dynamic is unbalanced and unsustainable. Remember, love is not about placing someone on a throne and worshiping them from below. It's about walking side by side as equals, supporting and uplifting each other through life's challenges. So how do you break free from the cycle of idealization? Start by practicing self-awareness. When you notice yourself idealizing someone, pause and reflect. Ask yourself, am I seeing this person for who they truly are, or am I projecting my desires onto them? Take time to get to know them on a deeper level, beyond surface appearances and initial impressions. Be curious, ask questions, and observe their actions. Over time, you'll develop a clearer, more authentic understanding of who they are. It's also important to cultivate a sense of gratitude for reality. Instead of longing for an idealized version of love, appreciate the beauty of genuine human connection. Real love isn't perfect, but it's rich, dynamic, and deeply fulfilling. It's about two flawed individuals coming together to create something meaningful, despite their imperfections. Finally, remember that embracing reality doesn't mean settling. It means choosing to engage with the world as it is, rather than chasing illusions. By grounding yourself in this mindset, you open the door to a more authentic, satisfying experience of love, one that's rooted in truth, not fantasy. If this message resonates with you, take a moment to share your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever struggled with idealizing someone only to face the reality later on? How did it change your perspective on love and relationships? And if you're ready to embrace authentic connections, don't forget to like this video and share it with others who might benefit from this insight. Together, let's redefine what it means to love and be loved. 6. Choosing a life partner based on core values. When it comes to choosing a life partner, it's tempting to let surface-level traits take center stage. Physical attraction, charm, or shared interests often become the primary focus in the early stages of a relationship. But while these elements can spark initial chemistry, they are not the foundation upon which a lasting, fulfilling partnership is built. The real question is, are you aligned where it truly matters, at the level of your core values? Core values are the guiding principles that shape who you are and how you navigate life. They influence your decisions, your goals, and your sense of purpose. When two people share similar values, they create a solid framework for their relationship, one that can withstand the inevitable challenges and changes that life will throw their way. Conversely, when values are misaligned, even the strongest physical or emotional connection will struggle to endure. Think about it. What happens when your core value is honesty, but your partner is prone to withholding the truth? Or when you deeply value personal growth and ambition, but your partner is content to remain stagnant? Over time, these differences will create tension, misunderstandings, and ultimately dissatisfaction. The relationship may begin to feel like a constant compromise, with one or both of you sacrificing essential parts of yourselves to maintain harmony. But here's the thing. A relationship built on shared values doesn't require you to shrink or change who you are. Instead, it provides a space where both partners can thrive, supporting each other's growth and pursuing common goals. This kind of alignment fosters trust, respect, and a deep sense of partnership, qualities that are essential for a long-term, meaningful connection. Now, let's consider the role of physical attraction. While it's undeniably important, it's also fleeting. Physical beauty changes with time, and the initial spark of attraction will naturally ebb and flow over the course of a relationship. If your connection is based solely on physical allure, what happens when that spark fades? Will there be enough depth and substance to sustain the relationship? This is where shared values come into play. When you prioritize qualities like integrity, resilience, and emotional intelligence, you're building a connection that goes beyond the superficial. You're choosing a partner who will stand by your side through life's ups and downs, someone who shares your vision for the future and is committed to growing together. Stoicism offers valuable insights here. It reminds us to focus on what truly matters, rather than being swayed by external appearances or fleeting desires. The Stoics believe that inner virtues such as wisdom, courage, and justice are the true markers of a person's character. By applying this perspective to your relationships, you shift your focus from the temporary to the enduring. So how do you identify a partner whose values align with yours? Start by reflecting on your own. What principles are non-negotiable for you? What kind of life do you envision? And what qualities do you need in a partner to support that vision? Once you have clarity, you'll be better equipped to recognize those same values in someone else. Take the time to observe how your partner behaves in different situations. Do their actions reflect the values they claim to hold? How do they treat others, especially in moments of conflict or stress? Pay attention not just to their words, but to their consistent patterns of behavior. This will reveal their true character far more reliably than grand romantic gestures or surface-level charm. Choosing a life partner based on shared values doesn't mean you'll agree on everything, or that your relationship will be free of conflict. But it does mean that when disagreements arise, you'll have a shared foundation to guide you. You'll approach challenges as a team with a mutual understanding of what truly matters. Ultimately, the decision to commit to someone is one of the most significant choices you'll ever make. It shapes not only your future, but also your daily experience of life. By prioritizing core values over superficial traits, you're setting yourself up for a relationship that's not only enduring, but deeply fulfilling. A partnership where love is a steady flame, not a fleeting spark. And remember, you deserve a connection that honors your values and supports your growth. Choose wisely, and you'll find that love becomes not just a feeling, but a profound and lasting partnership. 7. The art of letting go for inner peace. Letting go, two simple words, yet they carry an emotional weight that can feel almost unbearable. When a relationship no longer serves you, when love is not reciprocated, or when the connection begins to drain more from your soul than it gives, the idea of walking away can seem like an insurmountable challenge. And yet, letting go is one of the most powerful acts of self-love you can undertake. Why do we hold on so tightly to relationships that hurt us? Often it's because we're afraid. Afraid of being alone, of losing the familiar, or facing the unknown. But here's the truth. Holding on to something that no longer aligns with your well-being doesn't bring you closer to happiness, it distances you from it. The longer you cling to a relationship that diminishes your sense of self, the more you lose touch with who you truly are. Imagine this: you're gripping a rope tightly even though it's fraying and cutting into your hands. You hold on, believing that letting go would mean falling into the abyss. But what if, by releasing that rope, you discovered solid ground beneath your feet? What if letting go was the first step toward reclaiming your inner peace and making space for something better? Stoicism teaches us a vital lesson here. Focus on what you can control and release what you cannot. In the context of love, this means accepting that you cannot control another person's feelings, actions, or choices. You can't force someone to love you, stay loyal, or meet your emotional needs if they're unwilling or unable. What you can control, however, is your response. You can choose to walk away with grace and dignity, knowing that your self-worth doesn't depend on the outcome of a single relationship. Letting go is not a sign of weakness. It's a profound act of strength. It's an acknowledgement that your well-being matters, that you deserve a relationship built on mutual respect, and that clinging to something that causes you pain only prolongs your suffering. In letting go, you're not giving up on love. You're giving up on a situation that's preventing you from experiencing it fully. But how do you find the courage to let go? It starts with self-awareness. Take an honest look at the relationship. Are you constantly compromising your needs? Do you feel more anxiety than joy when you're with this person? Have you tried to communicate and work through the issues only to find that nothing changes? If the answers point to a pattern of emotional imbalance, it's time to consider whether staying is truly in your best interest. Letting go also requires you to confront your fears. It's natural to worry about the loneliness that may follow or the uncertainty of what comes next. But these fears, while real, are not insurmountable. In fact, they can be the catalysts for incredible growth. By facing the discomfort of letting go, you open yourself to the possibility of discovering new strengths, passions, and connections. And let's not forget the healing power of time. In the immediate aftermath of a breakup or unreciprocated love, the pain can feel all-consuming. But with each passing day, the intensity of that pain lessens. Slowly, you begin to see the situation more clearly, recognizing the lessons it brought and the resilience it helped you build. Time doesn't erase the scars, but it transforms them from wounds into reminders of your strength. There's another important aspect to letting go: forgiveness. This doesn't mean condoning any hurtful behavior or forgetting what happened. Rather, it's about freeing yourself from the burden of resentment. Forgiveness allows you to release the emotional weight of the past, so it no longer holds power over your present. It's a gift you give yourself, a way to fully embrace the peace that comes with moving on. Ultimately, letting go is about choosing yourself. It's about prioritizing your emotional health and creating space for relationships that uplift and inspire you. When you stop begging for love and start embracing your own worth, you shift the dynamic entirely. You become the architect of your emotional world, no longer waiting for someone else to validate your existence or fill an internal void. So ask yourself, what are you still holding on to, and what would your life look like if you let it go? Imagine the freedom, the lightness, and the peace that would follow. Letting go isn't the end of your story, it's the beginning of a new chapter, one where you're fully in control of your happiness. In the end, the art of letting go is a journey back to yourself. It's a reminder that you are whole, complete, and deserving of a love that meets you where you are. And when you embrace this truth, you'll find that the act of letting go isn't about losing, it's about gaining the clarity, strength, and freedom to welcome something far more fulfilling into your life. As we come to the end of this exploration, let's return to the central truth that has guided us. Love is never something to beg for. It is not a prize to be won through effort, sacrifice, or the erosion of your self-worth. True love, the kind that nourishes, uplifts, and endures, is a mutual exchange, a natural flow between two people who see and value each other for who they truly are. Through the lens of Stoicism, we've uncovered powerful insights into how to navigate the complex world of love and relationships. We've learned that self-respect is the cornerstone of any meaningful connection, that love is a gradual process rooted in shared values, and that rejection is not a verdict on your worth, but a redirection towards something better. Each of these principles reinforces the idea that love, like life, is best approached with patience, resilience, and an unwavering commitment to your inner truth. So what does this mean for you? It means embracing your journey with open eyes and a steady heart. It means letting go of the need to control or force outcomes, trusting instead in the natural unfolding of life. It means prioritizing your growth, your happiness, and your well-being, knowing that these are the very qualities that will draw the right person into your life. Let me ask you, what kind of love do you want to create? One built on desperation and uncertainty, or one founded on mutual respect and understanding? The choice is yours, and the power to shape your relationships lies within you. As you move forward, remember that every step you take towards self-awareness and self-respect brings you closer to the love you seek. Trust the process. Let go of what no longer serves you, and most importantly, stay true to yourself. Thank you for joining me on this journey. If this message resonated with you, I invite you to share your thoughts in the comments. Your experiences, reflections, and insights are invaluable as we continue to grow and learn together. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who might need a reminder of their own worth. Until next time, keep nurturing your inner strength, and remember, the love you deserve is out there, waiting for you to embrace it, naturally, effortlessly, and with the confidence that comes from knowing your true value. Stay strong, stay focused, and never settle for less than the life and love you deserve.